Hello, you lovely lot. Welcome to another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. It's review number 240, and we're looking at some 12-year-old Scottish single malts. 13 of them to be precise. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of these 12-year-old Scottish single malts. I've lost track of how many we're into it. Who cares? And this time it is the turn. It is the turn of Dewar's-owned Highland single malt, the Royal Brackla 12-year-old. Quite funny. Somebody commented a few videos back, can't remember who it was off the top of my head, apologies to whoever that was, but that they said they were looking forward to my Royal Brackla review, the 12-year-old, because it's well seen people have been paying attention. It's nice that somebody's been paying attention, that in all the 12-year-old Scottish single malts I've reviewed so far, up to this point, I hadn't reviewed the Royal Brackla. So it is good that someone is taking notice. Thank you for that person who was taking notice. And apologies for forgetting who it was. So, Royal Brackla, this one, as I said, Dewar's own, Highland distillery, 46%, non-chill filtered, no colour added, good, tick, tick, tick. Ex-bourbon, ex-sherry. What's not to like? So let's just get in, shall we? Yes, good, old-fashioned, ex-bourbon, ex-sherry nose. There. Thank you. Well, what do I mean? You know, that's cutting it off a bit. What do I mean by that? Look, it's a good malt. So you get that sort of solidly made maltiness in the background. The malt is in the background. The ex-bourbon vanilla caramel, very much so. The caramel is there in the background. And yes, then all of those typical, and if you're new to whiskey or new to my reviews, certainly when I say typical Oloroso sherry cask notes, I'm talking about dried fruitcake, raisins, sultanas, mixed pale, those sort of notes all hanging around on top. All there. Probably, and I mean, even from the nose, fairly decent casks, I would suggest, because it is rich. There is a nice richness of it. So, yep, tick, tick, tick. There we go. We're looking at a half decent here, sherry cask finished malt. Soft, sweet, sour, slightly bitter arrival. Thinner than the nose would suggest. But the notes are all still in place. It's pretty much what I said before. Good malt, yeah, maltiness is there. Bourbon cask maturation, and that I said on the nose about the caramel. So it's a dark chocolate coated caramel. So that's once again for me, that would suggest that's the Oloroso. That's the sherry casks playing into that dark chocolate note, but it's playing very nicely along with the caramel notes. Yeah, there is a rich, slight bitterness, which is sort of typical of Oloroso sherry. It's not. I've had a few sharper, more sort of vinegary, if you think along the lines of perhaps the Edredor 12-year-old. And I'll not say too much because we're going to. Whenever I divulge what my other suggestion, what my alternative is, it might sort of go against what I'm saying now. But yeah, it is a good solid malt, good maturation, good finish, all the notes you would almost expect. That runs through the palate, goes a bit dry. I will suggest that it definitely does go a little dry. However, half decent medium length finish as well. And you would definitely know that you've had a sherry cask finish. I wouldn't go as far as saying this is a sherry bomb. So what? But then our palates change. So if you go back a few years, I would probably have been thinking of, and I would probably still think of the likes of the Aberlour of Buna as being a sherry bomb. A lot of the Glendronach stuff, sherry bomb. I think it's the fact that this is just the fact that it's bottled at 46%, but it's still good. It's still solid. If this were cask strength, it would I imagine a sherry bomb. Then it would take on more of that cask. A drop of water brings up the sweetness, really ramps up that caramel in the nose. And that is it really is a chocolatey caramel. More so now with a drop of water, even more milk chocolate rather than dark chocolate. Still very nice though. I mean, it is a very, very nice nose. I do have a bit of an issue that this runs sort of this swings widely in price. I mean, you're talking sort of 55 to 70 pounds a bottle. At 55, yeah, good price. At 70 pounds, no, it's pushing it. It is a good nose though. It's rich. Drop of water, as usual, softens it off, rounds it off a bit, turns down a little. I said before that there wasn't necessarily that same Oloroso, what you would get, slight vinegary sharpness of it. Adding water to this takes this down a bit. So, and now it's making me think that there was a bit of a sharpness about it, which actually was more desirable. Probably forget about water. Actually, I think 46%. You could go neat with this. It certainly wasn't battering the palate at 46%. I don't think I would replace this. There are better Oloroso cask finishes out there, in my opinion, and I'll offer one up to you soon, hopefully. But it's good. It is good. It's just not one that I would replace. There. Yeah, so I have to offer you up an alternative. Quite easy. I did actually mention the Edward 12-year-old earlier on. Would be a good alternative. But the one that I'm going to suggest to you is this, the Glenturret 12-year-old. From Lalique owned Glenturret. This one, to me, this ball at 46%. It's bound to be on here what year this was released. The 2020, this is actually the 2021 release, so I'm going back a bit. But this, to me, once again, non-chill filter, no colour added, Glenturret 12-year-old, 46% on paper. Two very similar whiskies. But I remember, even at the time, the Glenturret punching way above its weight. It's a great whiskey, that Glenturret 12. And I think I remember at the time comparing it with the Edward 12-year-old. So, they are in a similar vein, but I would take the Glenturret 12 or the Edward 12 over the Royal Brackla 12 any day of the week. Royal Brackla are another one of those distilleries that I've had. There was My Name is Dodie, so Dodie Weir, the rugby player, charity, released a Royal Brackla, and it was mind-blowing. It was phenomenal. I got the opportunity I was given very kindly given the tail end of a bottle of it, and I just remember thinking it was fantastic, and it got me trying to track down other Royal Brackla indie bottlings then, because they're obviously making a good whiskey, but it's just like an awful lot of them. Sometimes the independents are doing a better job with it. So Royal Brackla 12-year-old, my suggestion as an alternative is the Glenturret 12-year-old. In this case, the 2021 edition. Other editions exist. Obviously, other editions can be chosen. This is good. It's decent. It really is. Don't let me yet again. Remember, always only my opinion. Don't let me put you off. Give it a shot. It is good. There's a weird funkiness of it after a while whenever it sits in the glass. I'm not sure whether it's a desirable funkiness or not. It's a bit pruny. But then sometimes I think I remember suggesting it before with some of these that there's slight hints of prune juice notes off it. Anyway, I'm blethering. Thank you very much for joining me. Always a pleasure. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. Should anybody wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. I'll be back next time with another 12-year-old Scotch single malt. Until then, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.